the revival, the resurrection, the resurgence, and the death of RCAnime. The return of AniPod. It is me, Glen, and my other two best friends in the whole world. This is where you guys speak.
Well, I'm dead, so I can't.
Oh, I thought you were going to introduce us.
It's been a while, I know, but in podcast, you kind of use your voice.
Yeah, but...
So what do we, like, we can't call you RCAnime anymore. It's,
No, you can't, no, you never called me RCAnime anyway, you just called me Matt.
You call him, did we?
Oh, not to your
No,
face.
like, people who watch me maybe call me RCAnime, but...
Dude, I've always called you RCAnime. Like, when we were hanging out at AX and in New York, I would call out to you across the street. Everyone would turn their heads. Everyone would turn their heads and be like, is that him? The one and only RCAnime? You're dead now, though, so people don't really care. I care, though. I love you. So, me, Glen, Matthew Lee, also formerly known as RCAnime, and Callum May, the Canipa Effects anime podcast. And it's been...
AniPod, yeah.
It's been 5 months.
It's been 5 months since the last one. Apologize for that, but not really.
We have our reasons, look, okay?
Yeah. Not good reasons, but...
No, I think it's fair enough. Look, Callum, you're moving to Japan, I'm moving to Japan, Glen's never going to Japan, so...
Fuck you! I'm going to Japan, dude!
It's funny because the last video on this channel was us talking about our Japan trip, and now
I'm pretty sure I promised at the end. I was like, "Hey, we'll record."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. We're not really good at keeping our promises, but yeah.
It's 2018. It's a new year. We got this. This is how we started AniPod, and now we're doing it again. Except this time we'll probably record at least twice a month. And then these two are moving to Japan in February, March. So
we'll just do it in the same room.
Yeah, you will see live action footage of Callum and I at one eventually.
I'm pretty sure you guys would actually beat the shit out of each other at points.
Oh,
out of love, of course, dude.
Anime. What came out in 2017? We have Kobayashi Maid Dragon.
Okay, but let's be real. Is that one of your favorite shows of the year? I loved Maid Dragon. I loved Takemoto, and nobody watched his other movie, even though they all liked Disappearance of Haruhi. They didn't watch High Speed, which I think came out in late 2016.
The free movie?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it was advertised as High Speed and not ever really advertised as the free movie. Free was very much like a subtitle that they kind of hid along the marketing and advertising, because it's so different from the original. It's Takemoto's movie. It's like... Imagine Free, except with the younger cast, and it's Hyoka.
But that was what the original light novel was, wasn't it? The original light novel was High Speed. Yeah,
yep. It was before for some reason, they decided it was more marketable to turn them into high school boys who were very hot. I mean, which I can't argue with that marketing, actually. Regardless, like... we're just gonna talk about 2017 anime. We're gonna restart it the same way we started AniPod. I loved Maid Dragon, and I loved Takemoto, but it wasn't one of my favorite shows of the year. And I don't think
I quite enjoyed it. I mean, if I have to go for top 10, I wouldn't put it there, but I think it's a good enough show for us to start with, so we can build up.
It's like when I think my favorite show of the year, I think of Kemono Friends.
Do you really want to begin with the best show of the year?
Nah, let's skip it. Callum's gonna get a bit upset if we do that, because we're just gonna have an hour of talking about Kemono Friends. Callum, what is your favorite, or one of your favorite shows of the year?
One of my favorite shows for the year.
What is your favorite? Just tell me straight out.
Oh, okay.
What is the show you immediately think of?
Little Witch Academia.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
But then, I was balancing that out with Maiden Abyss and Land of the Lustrous as well. So.
No, I get, dude. Okay. What is it about the Little Witch Academia TV series that you like so much?
I like how it seems to clash with the original films. Mm-hmm. In terms of ideals, I liked how it turned something that was very much in Yo Yoshinari's project into something that all of the Trigger members could jump in on, and kind of twists.
I
like
agree with that.
the Susie, the like go inside Susie's head episode really stood out to me as because it basically just shouted, "This is what you can do when you've just let people do whatever the hell they want."
It's evidence of Yo Yoshinari's true unquestioned love of exaggeration, both in animation and storytelling. And it's like, I feel like the OVAs were a lot more up that path. Like the TV series, I really liked it, mostly because of Diana and Akko, and they were just super fucking gay. And from episode 2, it was like, why are these two just not fucking already? But
yeah,
like the show, I don't know, it just didn't have the same like insane energy of like the OVAs to me. I don't know, like it was there.
It didn't, but it became like that Saturday morning cartoon sort of thing, the sort of thing where I could jump into weekly and just have a hell of a time.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just lost that magic for me. Like, it was wonderfully whimsical, which is exactly like what Yo Yoshinari wanted, I think. And like, it just let a lot of people at Trigger, like Sushio and like Akira Amameya, or fucking, I can't pronounce names. Nothing has changed in the 5 months since we last recorded.
Yeah, that was your one project.
Yeah, I fucked up. Amaishi, like, they all came in and they like all like have vastly different but similar to Yo Yoshinari's vision of like visual vocabulary, and it turned into like occasional Sakuga fest. But I don't know, 25
but even
episodes,
when it wasn't, it was still like
it was still fun. It was
creative
fun.
episodes.
But I just could never get past the fact that I was like, after the second OVA especially, it just didn't have the same magic for me. I did really like it though, and I can understand why I can understand actually perfectly why it's your favorite show. But like, I would expect you to say like Pokemon Sun and Moon or something if we're talking about like levels of fun.
2016.
Fuck, you're right.
It began in 2016, yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
okay, but come on,
do
but its best moments
start.
did happen in 2017. So
They
Come
did,
on.
yeah.
Are you caught up with Pokemon Sun and Moon?
I'm not caught up.
Okay, so I'm the only one. Whatever.
Wait, you're caught up with it?
Yes.
Matt messages me like every week about it.
I love Sun and Moon. How far are you in on it?
Several
somewhere in the 40s.
Okay, both of you are hopeless. Whatever.
Although I did like watch that like the big like 1000th episode thing because I thought it would be a big spectacular. I thought it'd be something special.
I mean,
like some
well,
sort of, like,
it actually
thing.
is the beginning of a huge overarching arc that features Lily's character primarily. I mean, there's a series of episodes. I think it lasts for 10 or more. But essentially, Lily becomes the main focus of the show, and she takes Ash's place as sort of the faux main character for that specific point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the entire show is just about her and her family.
Yeah, and apparently Ultra Beasts come in like recently.
Yeah. It's think of it like how how in the previous Pokemon seasons and series, whenever they would feature the legendary Pokemon, it would be in the films.
Yeah.
Now it's in the show, so
they're actually
they're putting story arcs. Yeah.
Yeah, they've expanded outside of what you expect from the TV series.
Pretty much, because they're not doing the Sun and Moon films now, because they're doing like Pokemon I Choose You, and they're doing the movie with the Gyaru and the Gal.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, boy. Oh, I can't wait for the porn. Hey, Callum.
Yeah.
What about you?
What can I wait? Can I wait for the porn?
No, I kind of wanted to ignore I said that, and I was hoping you'd just go
I see.
somewhere else.
No. I feel like we need to get into this.
Glenn, you've been holding back a lot, haven't you? It's been 5 months, and you've only been talking about porn.
Dude, Pokemon Sun and Moon, like, real talk. I wanted to bring it up because the amount of, like, unbelievably amazing, like, hentai and doujin and porn and shit that has come out for it.
That's great. They're 12.
It's unmatched, alright? So, like, that's my top show to jerk off to this year, alright?
Is it?
Please don't think about that too long. I want an immediate no.
Okay, actually, my favorite show is Handshakers.
You're fucking with me.
Did either of you actually watch Handshakers?
Did you watch it?
Watched
Yes, I
half
watched
the first
Handshakers.
episode.
Dude, Handshakers is amazing.
In what way?
You know, it's difficult to put into words that aren't describing it as awful, but basically, I don't do.
Gamers was pretty fun. Did anyone watch that?
Thank you.
Don't just.
I haven't finished it, but I watched the first few episodes and really enjoyed it.
It's one of the few shows of summer I didn't actually start because I was looking forward to it so much that I was just like, I psyched myself out.
Yeah. That happens to me sometimes.
Yeah, Gamers is sort of like one of those subversion shows like Konosuba is. It subverts your expectations for the sake of comedy. But, you know, that's become like a common genre. Like now it's become more normal to subvert expectations than it is to go by expectations sometimes. But Gamers does it in a way that really, it's really just, self-aware isn't the word, but it understands the limitations and the repetitiveness that the connotations that come with them, and it sort of breaks your expectations in a way that's unique to the show alone, which is why I love Gamers. And it's freaking hilarious. It really is hilarious. The show's uses of facial expressions is almost as magical as Konosuba's is.
Yeah, that was Pine Jam, and then they immediately went to probably easily one of my favorite shows of the year, Just Because.
Yeah, Just Because is one of the best shows of the year, for sure.
Why do you think that?
Because it's one of the few rare times we get to actually see sort of, you know, anime has this popular genre that's slice of life, but slice of life is never really, you know, a slice of reality. It's sort of the slice of life of like this anime universe. It can only exist in anime just
slice
because
of life, but it's still obviously exaggerated.
Yeah, I mean, Just Because could be a live action drama series. It really is essentially anime imitating live action film.
Yeah, especially setting-wise. Like, I don't think I've seen a more realistic depiction of, like, an urban setting, especially in Japan, in any fucking show.
Well, when it comes to realism, yeah, Kamakura is really brought to life. You see, that's what I always find really weird, because with anime, I've talked about settings before, and, like, you know, some shows, they go to New York, or they go to London, Paris, and, you know, they emphasize the location. But what's the most boring location in anime? Tokyo, which is the most frequent location you see in anime.
Yeah.
And like most people who work in anime live in Tokyo, but they almost never give Tokyo a personality.
Because
like
they've become jaded towards it. It's just the place that they live and work.
Maybe, but when you look at Kyoto, like you have like Euphonium and other.
Yuasa's new film.
Yeah, the Night is Short, which is so fucking great. They bring Kyoto to life. Maybe not like Euphonium does it realistically. Night is Short doesn't do it realistically, but it brings something magical out of Kyoto's atmosphere, and you don't get that for Tokyo. I can't think of anything that brings Tokyo. Maybe like Your Name to some extent, but other than that,
even Durarara, which is all about like this whole like Ikebukuro culture thing, didn't actually show much of Ikebukuro.
Yeah, like Akiba's Trip kind of showed around Akiba, but it was more about like the people of Akiba.
Yeah, but even Akiba's
that was
Trip.
This year too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was winter.
Yeah,
Akiba's Trip was good.
Yeah, that was that's the top 10 show.
That was winter.
Character designs in Akiba's Trip are pretty good.
Back to Just Because, I set you up so easily, Matt. I was like, oh, he's gonna do it. It's such an obvious like lead-in, and you didn't say it. You didn't say Just Because. I asked you. I was like, Matt.
No,
I was like, Matt,
fuck you.
Why
Fuck
do you
off.
like the show, dude? It's so easy. The audience, they love it. I don't
Why,
want to like.
Glenn? Why do they love it?
I don't want to. Why do they love just? Why does the audience love it? I don't know, Matt. Who's the most popular member according to a Twitter
I just
poll?
fucking gave you the chance too, right now.
Fuck! God damn!
That was so obvious.
It's not. It wasn't related to the show.
Look, someone here has to make that shitty joke.
Why, Callum?
Just because.
Just because. Yeah. There we go. We did it.
God.
Talk about fucking Chain Chronicle or something.
Bless. God isn't real. Just because. I want to stay on it because. Just because. But, like, I really like Just Because. It's really, like, it's earnest in its, like, setting. It's very intimate with the realistic intentions it has for its characters and the setting, like we mentioned before, and not enough people watched it, so I just want to tell you that you should, because like it kind of fell apart. I'm sure you guys know it fell apart a little bit in terms of the production at points where like backgrounds just started actually becoming just like real photos that had some shitty filters put on them. It didn't look too bad, but it was very apparent that everything was kind of falling apart, which kind of led to this more, which actually kind of worked to its benefit, this more raw performance from a lot of the animators, like Kazuyuki Shimada and a lot of like other people that Studio Pine Jam had brought in like their short length shows beforehand. And like, because like things sort of melted into obvious attempts at getting emotion across, just not like as polished as you're used to seeing in an anime production. It was very defined by its individualistic character animation that ended up, destroying the production. But I'm glad it did, because I want people to watch Just Because. Thank you.
Great. No, there's no possibility for a segue in that.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to say.
Houseki no Kuni. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good
shit.
one.
We've all seen that, and it's actually one of the best shows of the year. Like, top two. Like, Houseki no Kuni, as you were saying before, how the background sort of fell apart with Just Because, despite its emphasis on character animation. Houseki no Kuni, or Land of the Lustrous, just gives it 100% for everything. By itself, it's already broken down, or it has taken down the negative connotation some people have with CG anime. Because a lot of people do agree that Houseki no Kuni is pretty good.
It's one of the best shows. It's weird to go from, like, say, last year, where 2016, a lot of our, like, there's not a single CG show we would have described as being one of our favorites. But this year, my two favorites probably are, like, Kemono Friends and Houseki no Kuni. Obviously, very different productions. I'll just, just put that out there. But Houseki no Kuni's backgrounds, like you were saying, it's one of the first TV anime, and just anime in general, where the character models don't look completely out of fucking place with 2D backgrounds.
No, they're composited so well with the backgrounds.
It's so good.
It like, because of the CG setting, it allows them to use specific camera pans that have been that we haven't seen consistently done ever before. There's a freaking long take that follows Diamond like crawling around a space for 5 or more than 5 minutes, and that's never happened in anime. That like. You can find that in film easily now, but the only other anime that like focused on a noticeable long take was
anime has a lot of cuts.
Well, yeah, the only anime that focused on a long take beforehand was the one short from Memories. I forget, like Cannon Buster or something.
What? Memories? Is that the Otama?
Mm-hmm. The 3 short films.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that garbage.
Fuck off.
Wait, you don't mean Harmony, do you? Wait.
No, I'm not talking about Project Ito.
No, you're talking about Magnetic Rose.
Yeah, Magnetic Rose is one of the films.
By Koji Morimoto, who's kind of...
I'm not specifically talking about Magnetic Rose. It's one of the other films, like Cannon Buster, Cannon something.
Oh, Cannon Fodder.
Cannon Fodder, yeah.
Fodder.
Okay,
that's the Ultima one.
Yeah, that's the one that the entire short is given the illusion to be one take. And that they do it there through compositing mainly. Here it's all done to look naturally, to look like there's actually a camera going through the space. So it's very unique. It's the first time I think it's ever been done in anime, and Houseki no Kuni is it has to be remembered for years to come, just for that shot alone. I think
it never feels like they're overdoing it either. I mean, there is a couple of bits where it's like, why did you just like spin the camera there? But in most cases, all of these camera movements are incredibly purposeful.
They utilize like parallax very well, parallax techniques, because like the human eye, like when looking at like 3D images and like 2D, it's human eyes vary in their like separation distance and like natural ability to move it, so it's important to design visuals to display the lowest possible parallax so that all the people, the audience, this is like difficult to explain, it's such a complicated fucking shit. Basically, depth is what I'm trying to say, is like it's hard to keep it comfortable where you're looking at the focal point but not every other part of it is detracting from the focal point, which tends to be the CG elements, which are the characters in this show.
Yeah.
Which it's a brilliant show that has like Studio Orange. I can't wait for what, like, hopefully it's just season 2 that they do next, honestly, but I can't believe I'm looking forward to a CG show. It just it shocks me.
I can believe it because I've been wanting something like this.
I know, but you talked about like blame and shit. That is not good. I'm sorry.
I see. I'm working on a video right now, and the start of it is literally me saying, "These are all of the CG shows that I've recommended, and like, these are all of the things that even I can see as faults in them." But
yeah, Polygon Pictures has a lot of those.
Polygon Pictures, I think they are technically impressive in so many ways, but the character expression and even the models just feel cold. It's hard to recognize them as human.
That coldness is definitely the difference between Polygon Pictures and Houseki no Kuni, because to be fair, there are points where there is some awkward character animation in Houseki no Kuni. Very little, and like not nearly as bad as like Polygon Pictures or another lower productions attempts.
Yeah.
But Houseki no Kuni's character, like, they were able to focus so much on the character models because the bodies, because they're gender neutral, because they don't have a gender, because it's not she or he. All their bodies are basically the same, so they just reuse the models for the most part and could focus on the face and the head and the details there, which is why it ended up being so fucking good.
Yeah, and they could spend all of that time with caustics, light refraction, all of these many different technologies that they applied just for like each character's hair. It's genuinely incredible.
Like, we're just talking about the production. Like, the show itself is fucking phenomenal.
I mean, it's one of those weird shows where you can't actually say what the theme of the show is without kind of spoiling where it's going.
Even then, I feel like there's far too many thematic elements to really hone in on one exactly.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, like, the obvious one is finding your place in the world.
Yeah, that's actually different from the manga, because in the manga, like, in the manga, Phos is not nearly as definable as a main character. Like, in the anime, they added it, like, mostly only in the first episode, they wanted to make, well, actually, all of it, they wanted to make the characters more direct, not as vague, I suppose would be the way to put it, to make it was the transition to medium. I can't remember the exact reason the director stated why. It was actually a request from the mangaka.
Oh, to make Phos the main character.
No, Phos was like always technically the main character, but she didn't really have definable, especially immediately, definable traits, definable outgoingness. Basically, they changed quite a bit, like, just mostly tone-wise, but they didn't destroy the original tone. It's actually just a good adaptation, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Some things work better on screen than they do in text.
It's like, it dedicates itself to the moment-to-moment humanity of every single gem, and the directing and the production really makes that appearance. It's an amazing show. It's an amazing show that's so difficult to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just very thematically saturated, so there's just too many things to talk about, and you don't really know how to pinpoint one of its
There's too
features.
many things to talk about. Because one little element, you can have an entire 10-minute conversation about it. Go further and further with it, because it is so it knows exactly what it's saying, and it gets it
Maybe
across.
we should have an episode just for Houseki no Kuni.
I guess we could, yeah. Because in episode like 10 alone, you could just talk about that one scene.
I can talk about that scene forever because I love that scene. I'm a big fan of one-ers and long takes because they're always challenging to do, especially what's challenging about them is to, like, how do you make it fresh? Because everyone loves to do it. So how do you keep them brisk and, you know, how do you keep the momentum going?
We genuinely had a class on how to do them in uni, so it's not like it's anything that is unique. It's just how you do it.
I mean, I feel like long takes are one of the best ways a specific filmmaker can show how much he understands not just space, but character and movement and blocking, background, foregrounds. There's so many components that a director can use a long take for, like either to review a character or like how Houseki no Kuni does it is like to emphasize fear, because since the camera moves back and forth constantly along with Diamond, you never really know when, you know, like the jump's gonna happen. It's just really great. It's like it sets attention so well.
Best sequence of the year.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt. I can't think of any other scene that has stuck with me so much. And Houseki no Kuni has a lot of those scenes, which just goes to show how meticulously crafted everything about that production is and how surreal of a show it is. It's fucking great. It's probably, like, Kemono Friends is probably my favorite show of the year, like, if I had to pick one. But picking one's stupid. Houseki no Kuni, just because, and Handshakers. All on top of that list.
What about Eromanga Sensei, Glen?
Ah, fuck, you're right!
I was wondering.
I love her so much! Man, I love her so much! I love Alfiona so fucking much! I love everything about it! Fuck! I love everything about that show.
Okay, I feel like Eromanga Sensei takes everything that's great about Oremo and doesn't include anything that was weak about Oremo. So basically, it's just like a really great Oremo.
That's why they kept the little sister punks.
At least Sagiri isn't annoying.
Sagiri's probably like one of the weaker parts of the show, but I still love Sagiri.
Like with Elf Yamada in it, it's just pretty great.
I mean, it's just like Oremo, where Kirineko existed, which just made Kirino...
Basically.
Yeah.
But Yamada shines a lot more from the beginning already, because Kirineko, it took time for Kirineko to really take a spot on the stage, I think, if I recall correctly.
I still prefer Kirineko to Elf Yamada.
Yeah, hey Callum, I forgot to tell you, since you make, like, because your time zone is so different from ours, we've decided to kick you off of AniPod and replace you with a new member.
Oh, who are you gonna get?
His name is Callum.
A Callum?
Yeah, Callum September.
Of the Kopipa effect?
Yeah, he's very similar to you in a lot of ways, to be honest, but he does know that Elf Yamada is a lot better than Kirineko, even though Kirineko is awesome.
Continue your Eromanga talk. And I was hoping for like a full hour to talk about Snack World.
Wait.
Back to Eromanga Sensei.
Wait, what's Snack World? Really quick.
Snack World was a OLM 3D show, an adaptation of a popular level 5 video game.
I do know that, actually.
And it is incredibly unfunny. Like, to almost dramatic proportions.
Yeah, I'm really glad you took the time to talk about it, Callum. I appreciate it.
I know, and I was hoping we'd go for a full hour, but this 30 seconds...
I'm gonna have to cut you off early.
Oh...
Like I said, Callum September is going to be here any time now, so let's just try to get you...
I mean, I'm looking forward to meeting him. It sounds like we've got a lot in common except for the Kuroneko thing.
No, he's a chill dude. He's better than you because he knows that one fact. Matt.
Yeah.
You said my name?
Yeah.
Yes, Glen?
I love Eromanga Sensei so much.
It's really good.
I love it so much.
I mean, there's really not much to say about it other than the fact that it's just pure fun.
Oh, fuck you.
I mean, in terms of like what it does right,
everything,
it's just fun. It just knows how to be a fun show.
Production-wise,
production-wise, is really consistent for sure.
Oh, I've got a friend coming through. He's called Matthew Me. He's pretty much exactly like you, Matt. New Yorker, all that stuff. He's just got a lot more to say about Eromanga Sensei.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, AniPod is mine.
Really? Because Callum and I were talking about getting Gleb from Gleb Loves McDonald's.
I thought you would say like Ben because it rhymes, but the fucking Gleb. At least Callum is actually a name.
I'm glad Eromanga Sensei got us to talk about this.
Eromanga Sensei is the most bright, buoyant, and grandest of anime of this year. And it's obvious Matt doesn't want to talk about its deeper nuances with me, so...
Okay, well, bring it on.
No.
A coward.
I'm waiting for Matt, you, me.
If you want to talk about nuances, we can talk about New Game Season 2, which has some pretty neat moments of nuances.
Oh, don't remind me. It's one of those shows that I never got round to, but regret every single day.
We'll get to it then, hello?
I need to finish so much stuff.
Yeah, we'll finish New Game Season 2 first, bud.
Yeah, New Game Season 2 is really good, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the middle part is a bit...
Nah, it's perfect.
The beginning is great. Dude, the beginning and ending are great.
Every beat, every breath, every shot of Alba and of Ko's butt is perfect. It all goes together to create something entirely better than the first season. But the first season was already fucking amazing. So this one kind of reached for more of like emotional threads.
It's more about growth.
Yeah, and
personal
it nails
growth
it
for each character.
It nails it.
Yeah, and it does it really well.
Is it still about like? Does it still have those game development like storylines?
I mean, I guess you could describe them as storylines. Yeah.
Or is it just like a background to the character drama?
I would say it's a catalyst. But yeah, it's really about personal growth for each of the characters, especially the main four, and how far they can go, how far they can push themselves, not just professionally, but also like how Hifumi pushes herself to be more extrovert. And in the end, like the major event that occurs in the end is essentially a summary of that growth. Like how far can you really go? And the show shows you how far you can take it by surprising you with what happens in the end.
Okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
You watched the first season, why don't you watch season 2?
Look, I've been busy.
Like, probably the most ostentatious, yet most thing, like the most ostentatious, but the most true thing I say about anime, like manga, light novels, and media in general, is that we relate to them in a very similar way, the same way that we relate to other people we make connections with. And New Game Season 2's finale, and its build-up to that finale, is a catalyst of a... I'm stealing your word because I can't think of a catalyst of a...
Cathartic?
A catalyst of all of that. And it puts forth more personality in its characters than the first season in every way, and gives them all a voice of improvement. And it's fucking... It's phenomenal. I cry a lot. I don't think crying is a very good way of saying this was good. But when I cried at the end of New Game 2... Which, by the way, they missed out on calling it New Game Plus. What the fuck?
Yeah.
When I cried at the end of the season, I cry a lot. If you do something that I find relatable in any capacity, I will probably cry to it. But when I cried at Ko and Alba, I really understood them, I thought, and accepted them as people. And I think that's something that is special. And I want you to watch New Game too, Callum. Okay?
Okay. I should, yeah.
I
Summer
promise
season
I'm saying this about every show
Yeah, I know.
that you should watch.
Summer
But, like,
2017
dude, there's so much
is
good shit.
just, I missed it.
Glenn, talk about you relating to the characters. How do you feel about Netsuno Susume?
The thing is, by the end of that show, she's not as much of a loser as I am, so it kind of just became painful to me.
Yeah, she actually got a
That was
life, kind of.
That was a good... Netsuno Susume is good, or Recovery of an MMO.
That was I would consider that, like, probably one of the year's sleeper hits. Because I don't think anyone really paid attention to it, but...
No, I think...
People-
dude, I saw
it
tons
got
of people
Initially?
talk about it. It got... I don't know
Not
about
initially.
Not an
but-
issue, but later on in the season,
Yeah, because
people
it's
started paying
actually
attention.
good.
Yeah, and it was
Like,
one of the most talked
Go
about shows on ANN by the end of the year.
and I guess that yeah, that definitely counts for something. That was a good show. I don't really have like as much to say about it as I'd like to, but it was very nice. I really enjoyed it.
No, it's really, like, more of, like, Welcome to the NHK Meet Cute edition.
I made enough shit posts about the girl.
What was also really enjoyable, Urara Merocho, which I got you to watch, Glenn, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to watch it, but like I was busy at the time. That was another Manga Time Kiara show, which I don't think there's been any point where a Manga Time Kiara anime adaptation has been exactly subpar. It's always it always has a higher bar than like regular shows. For me.
Blendes.
I thought Blendes was fine. Blendes was funny.
Okay,
By the end of it, it was focusing too much on the Micah manager dynamic. But
no, even from the
I still
beginning,
like
I
that.
just never really got into it. I guess the characters from me weren't
you didn't even
colorful
get
enough.
to you didn't even get to Hidari.
I didn't get to him.
You didn't get to the best fucking boy, dude. I wanna fuck him!
Oh, okay. I should have seen that coming.
Talking about shows where people fuck, Kuzuno Honkai.
Oh yeah.
That was I fucking love Scums Wish.
Well, that's serious fucking though. Sad fucking.
Sad. I mean, is it really? It wasn't really sad. I mean, they enjoyed themselves somewhat, you know.
Guilty fucking then.
yeah. That's a much better word for it.
Come on, it's so rare for a show to actually talk about sex, at least to the degree that Scums Wish does.
For sure, dude. So Scums Wish was like one of the best. It was definitely like probably my favorite of winter. What other? I don't know. I can't remember.
Urara.
Exactly. Oh yeah,
Rakugo 2. Oh, because that's the fucking.
Regardless, I want Scums Wish is worth talking. Like you're definitely right.
Yeah.
There's a few other series that approach sex at all, and Kuzuno Honkai definitely does it in a not particularly mature way. I wouldn't use the word mature, but
in an
a very
exploitive
nuanced
way, I
I
guess.
suppose. Yeah. I didn't find it arousing.
It's not meant to be arousing though. It's in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
yeah.
Is it did that well, and it's like I'm not sure where I'm going with that. Callum, did you watch it?
I read the manga, so I feel qualified.
They had like an after story manga that's going on right now. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Matt, please talk about it to me. Thank you.
Talk about. I haven't
feel
read
like
the after story manga. I can't.
Not the manga, the anime. I'm trying. I don't want to feel like I'm talking too much at points.
No. How can I elaborate? I guess it. Yeah, the way it explores sex is more about. It talks about more of the psychological consequences that can come along with the act. How it sort of rings a domino effect among the cast. And now, is it realistic? No. But does it have to be? No. It's just
Things don't have to be realistic to convey a point. To convey its thematic bindings of its choosing. It doesn't have to realism is something people tack on so many times as a criticism to things. It's just frustrating.
I mean,
it's a harsh show.
A lot of people were saying that Scums Wish wasn't scummy enough, and that's why they used the argument for realism to come into play. But if
they did that, they would just be saying
it would just be
that's not realistic.
I know
That's what
it's a rabbit hole. But again, Scums Wish sort of, it knows how to balance itself from keeping both a balanced drama while not stepping too deep into the tropes of melodrama.
Yeah. It conveys really well that, like, a lot of these isolated feelings that people have that they kind of conjure up over time, getting a connection with somebody, whether it be only physical, is probably one of the only ways to to release those emotions, those feelings. It's a good show. It's very good. It's way better than Love and Lies.
Fuck Love and Lies. Fuck Love and Lies.
What was it? Uso
Koito Uso.
I can't remember. Koito
The only good thing about that show is fucking Kanashi, because
hey, Frederick's fucking
Frederick
great.
is great. Yeah, I'm very sad that
He's I listen to him like every day. That's the OP, by the way.
Other than that, Koito Uso has a very frustrating
ending. I want you to tell me how much that show pissed you off, because you were that's the only reason I watched it, is because you messaged me. I was
Really?
like, I should probably watch this. Yeah, because I was like, I looked at it and I was like, I kind of want to watch it. I think I'll just save it. And then as soon as you messaged me after you watched the finale, I was like, okay. And I watched like half of it in a day, and I watched the other half at another like week later. And that fucking ending, holy shit!
It's just
I usually don't like stay on endings because it's the whole. It's not the beginning. It's not the end. It's the recency effect where people are always like, it ended this way, so that affects everything else, which is true. Sort of, but I don't particularly agree with. But the ending to fucking Love and Lies, where it just cops out the entire thing the show was fucking doing.
Essentially, the show has an argument. It offers two sides of an argument when it talks about what true love is or which love works better. In the end, it doesn't fucking answer it, or it does answer it. It just gives you the fucking most frustrating answer.
Is it fate? Is it chosen? Go fuck yourself. We don't care, and you shouldn't either.
Go fuck yourself. He's gonna fuck both of them. Whatever.
At least, dude.
But the main, I just don't.
They were hot.
No, yeah, okay, sure, but
Clap.
like normally, the main male protagonist being, I guess, who they are doesn't particularly bother me because like the offer chose that personality for the main character. If you don't like him, it's not written solely for you. But the main protagonist, the Koito Uso, I just can't imagine where either of the girls could find anything they could like about him. It's one of those very few moments where I do question why do they find him interesting.
Yeah, I rarely question that stuff, just because I don't try to get too much into it in like a lot of series. But a series like that where it's like you kind of want to get into the psyche of a lot of the characters, and it doesn't make sense. Why do they like that guy? Why don't you like me? Hey, I may be 3D, but like, you know, I go to college. I'll probably be like successful someday. I'll probably live by myself and just be surrounded by like anime figures and shit. But you know, you can be there, dude. What I'm saying is, slide into my DMs. Thank you.
Was there a point to that?
Yeah. Hey, Callum, what's up? What's another show? What'd you watch?
Oh, so that I watched, narrowing it
Well,
down.
I mean, that you like. If there's a show you want to talk about, bring it up, of course.
There was...
I think you're like the only one in this call who probably likes Hero Academia.
I really, really liked it, but I feel like over time, I started to feel more distant from it.
Mm-hmm.
The love
I get that.
slowly faded when I started realizing that I'd stopped caring.
Yeah.
And it's weird
That's
because
kind of how it is.
like
Good.
so season 1 middling, didn't really care that much about it.
Season 1
alright.
fucking sucked, dude.
Yeah.
It fucking sucked. I
mean,
don't
the
care what
opening.
anyone
I liked
says.
the opening episodes, but I think the whole climax, the what some people would refer to as the point of the series, like it was just shit all the way through.
Okay. It's like people will be upset about that, and they're gonna be like, Glen, Callum, both like Glen. You like Eromanga Sensei. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that
they've already
matters at
made their
all.
comments.
that, like, I don't like saying this fucking sucks, but maybe I've just become tilted by the fact of all the praise I see for it when it just does some of the most basic, essential things to narrative. And even then, if you want to talk about it production-wise, it's disappointing that Umekashi is an animation director on it, and it's so fucking un-Umekashi a lot of the time. It
that's the first season.
Oh, was he not animation director?
Oh, no. I mean, like, second season was a lot more visually impressive. It was a lot more
sort
Umekashi.
of, but I still think it was disappointing wise. I don't know. I expect a lot from Umekashi. I really do. I love the man. And, like, there were points. There were definitely highlights. And I think I don't really read the manga anymore. I might get back to it. But, like, as an anime adaptation, it's so bland, and you can get through the material so much faster reading it, and it's way more enjoyable, and the manga art is actually really good.
In a way, it suffers from the same thing as Shokugeki no Soma, in that it's taken this this new Shonen Jump approach where they're like, okay, we're not going to commission these anime that just goes on endlessly for years. Instead, we're going to do this thing where we have like commission like 1 or 2 cores each year, and then just work at it like that. But at the same time, they end up maintaining that sort of that pacing, that accuracy towards the source material that would happen in the long running series. They don't use that time to develop new sort of plans and new ways of approaching stuff and new ways of changing it. It's still just the same manga with a story that is written for manga. They have some original episodes, which are genuinely the best parts of the series. But yeah, I felt like they needed to change things up and needed to rejig some of the structure, maybe cut some battles out because they just drag on. Like the tournament arc made me realize why I don't actually like tournament arcs.
Yeah, I think the tournament arc is like one of the best parts of that like earlier material, but even the anime version of it was lackluster, like, I guess.
If I compare it to Pokemon, like one of my favorite tournament arcs in anything is in Pokemon Master Quest, and that's because it wasn't like just a sequence of episodes where all the characters sit in the stands and just watch battle. There's like sometimes they'll leave halfway and there'll be a different incident that's going on. There'll be episodes in between that kind of reflect on what's just happened and build up to what's going to happen. But yeah, this is just like all of that building up to things, or it happened when they were already like facing each other, and then just suddenly flashback. It's like, no, that's the worst That's the worst way to introduce why a battle matters. Like being
I think
just
the show
before
had
it.
been more. If it had a better like I like the director.
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like this is actually his show when I'm watching it.
Exactly.
Everything feels so stilted in comparison to his other works like Gundam Build Fighters and stuff, where he obviously had like either he had a more intimate like approach to it, where he was like, I really like this material, I want to make something of it. When he approaches Hero Academia, he might be being held back by producers, by people like the people he's working for at Bones. Like, they don't want the adaptation to be out there. They don't want something, they want something very standard that's safe, and I don't blame them. Hero Academia was like a big property, they didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
But after a while, it's just like I don't want to see safe. I really don't. Like, talk about tournament arcs, thinking back all the way to Yu Yu Hakusho, when Akiyuki Shinbo, when he actually did directional work, the visuals and the overall ambition of that arc, I always compare when a generic shonen series comes along, whether it be fucking shitty Black Clover, somewhat okay Hero Academia, and they do like a tournament thing, I always think back to Yu Yu Hakusho and I'm like, please don't. Please do something different. Make something more interesting. Like, talk about long-running shonen series. Like, Boruto started this year.
Oh, got it. Yeah,
which actually has a pretty phenomenal production. Not even pretty. It just does have a phenomenal production. Which is why I'm even more disappointed in a show that's had so many breaks and lead-ups. But I guess that, I don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes. Maybe they didn't have as much time to make the show as they'd like, obviously. And maybe they just want to keep it boiling like it's hot. Like, there's the movie, the second season, the third season. They're, like, putting a lot of things out at once and not really giving it enough build-up time, pre-production time, etc.
Kenji Nagasaki's never going to get back to doing like his own Gundam Build Fighters, is
Didn't
he?
Wasn't more Build Fighters announced, sort of?
A new season of it was announced. So there was like some OVA episodes.
Probably not him then.
There were some OVA episodes which he did do, which were great. And then there's this new series. The new series, he's not going to be on it. Like, he's had this thing for a while where he does like one series every year. So 2013 was Gundam Build Fighters. I think 2014 was Classroom Crisis.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, more people should watch because it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Which, Callum, you're the only other person I know.
I know. I absolutely love the series. I like the fact that it ended up being one of my favorite romance series. When romance was
the romance easily the best part.
Yeah, that sort of that thing came in the second half of the show. Some people would say it came out of nowhere, but there was just these subtle hints throughout that like there was a connection. I loved it.
It made sense.
Yeah,
it made sense. Regardless, I don't want to talk about things I don't like. That's not the reason. I don't enjoy that very much. Actually, I kind of do, but I do like positivity a lot more.
Yeah,
and
although
one of my favorite.
There's always more to say about something you don't like.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But I'll say about Made in Abyss.
Oh yeah.
Which, production-wise, narrative-wise, just everything-wise, good.
Yeah,
unbelievably good. It didn't really come out of nowhere for me personally, but I know a lot of other people were taken aback by it. Like, and I think that's why it took off so much. Kind of similar to the way Gauko Karashi, when it came out, the Manga Time Kiara show about zombies and stuff. That's like, you look at the designs of this and you don't expect what the actual material is about.
Yeah.
But even coming up to it, it ended up being way better of an adaptation than I could have ever expected.
Yeah. I mean,
I know you two absolutely adore the music.
Kevin Penkin.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce his last name, but his score is, I think, the best anime score of the year.
I'd agree.
I'd give it to Kekai Sensen and Beyond.
Okay.
No, I like Taisei Iwasaki's score. I'm on the fence with Kekai Sensen and Beyond because I don't know which one I like more, the first season score or the second season score. Like, they both have strengths over the other.
They're both super, super, super good. I like season 2's more. Maybe that's just like it's definitely a personal thing.
You see, I like the songs in season 2's score more, but I do like the jazzy tracks from season 1 more.
It's like conflicted between my love of jazz and vocals, and vocals kind of won over because Kekai Sensen and Beyond has like a song. Its name is too hard for me to pronounce because I am actually an.
Are you talking about the samba song?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
It's the one that's in what language?
Spanish?
I can't recall. Was it Spanish?
I think it was Spanish. Spanish or Portuguese.
No.
I mean, no. There are songs in French.
There was one in Arabic, I'm pretty sure, that I really
was there an Arabic song? Like, there's a song in Korean, there's a song in English, Japanese. Basically every language in the world, yeah.
Yeah. That was the best part of Kekai Sensen and Beyond, by the way.
Have you actually watched the show?
I watched up to episode 6 at this point, and it definitely hurts not having Matsumoto.
Yeah, it does, but
it's still good.
It's alright.
It's still good.
I mean, I can't speak much for it because I'm not too much of a Kekai Sensen fan in general. I can only speak for the score, which is really good. And the second season score, like the list of songs at the very least, do really summarize New York, especially the samba song. The only genre of music I would say that it's missing, which is very big in New York, is the indie alternative LCD sound system type music. Other than that, it captures almost every other genre that has defined the city's musical culture.
Right there, you said I'm not a Kekai Sensen fan, which I identify with that statement. I agree. I don't consider myself a Kekai Sensen fan. I went and read Night Gal's manga. It's fucking awful. The adaptation's way better. I'm a Matsumoto fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a Kekai Sensen fan. I'm a Matsumoto fan. And sorry, Director Kun for Kekai Sensen and Beyond. I cannot remember your name for the life of me. He has done a decent job imitating Matsumoto, but an imitation can't live up to the original.
I honestly would have preferred him to do something more for himself, actually.
I don't know. When I'm watching it, compared to his earlier shows, like, I cannot remember his name, but compared to his earlier shows...
Shigehito Takayanagi. So, we're never going to say that again.
Yep.
He did Dagashi Kashi and Tokyo ESP.
Yeah, Dagashi... He did a lot of comedic series. He did Kane Memo. He did Kami no Mi Zo Shiro Sakai, The World God Only Knows.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of comedies. And, like, going into Kekai Sensen and Beyond, maybe he's changed. He hadn't, like, done any actual full-length directional work in a while. But comparing to his older stuff, even if he's evolved, I think he's evolved because of Matsumoto, because he was given this project that had such a distinct, unimitable style. I'm sure he's like, I don't want to denounce him. I don't want to say he's this isn't meant to be an insult that he can't imitate Matsumoto, but I don't think the work is particularly his at points. Sure, there's moments of personality in the directing, but I just see a knockoff Matsumoto.
I feel like he's definitely had long conversations with Matsumoto about trying to replicate
I think a knockoff Matsumoto is better than easily 70% of anime directors working right now.
Oh, absolutely. Like, he can replicate Matsumoto's style, like, to the point where, I mean, if you'd been, like, yeah, if you didn't know that if you didn't know that she'd been replaced, say they put Ria Matsumoto on the front, would you doubt that?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Sure.
Like I said,
it lacks Matsumoto's pretty distinctive, really quick pace.
I've rewatched everything Matsumoto's done, whether it's the Precure movie, the Precure opening. Also, she did the ED, the Kekai Sensen and Beyond, which is a very busy but phenomenal ED. Very recommended. You probably have to, I think you kind of have to watch the show for it to all come together, because it just kind of looks like a lot of busy work happening when you watch it. But Matsumoto's fucking crazy, and I can definitely tell her apart, is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry to have moved us so far away from Made in Abyss.
Oh,
I love, dude.
Fine.
How much have I talked about Matsumoto and like all these podcasts we've done? Like, I swear.
Where do you think she is now? What do you think she's doing?
She's doing an original Bones project. She's doing it. It's definitely happening.
It's confirmed?
Okay, it's not confirmed, but it's confirmed.
Oh, so you basically just said, you just guessed.
Okay, let me base this off of the Sakuga Cartel's guesses as well.
Okay.
Matsumoto is essentially confirmed working on another project.
Yeah.
And that project is most likely at Bones. Bones always announces their projects in advance as well, and Bones is one of the few studios that pushes original projects super hard.
They do, yeah.
And they've announced that for 2018, I believe there's 2 original shows, and it's believed that one of them is Matsumoto's.
One of them's Aiko, isn't it?
I believe. I'm not 100%.
Okay. That would make sense. That would,
my wife is working hard right now,
yeah,
all right?
Absolutely.
She comes home, and she won't even look me in the eyes. It's kind of always been like that, but I like to think it's because she's tired.
Okay. Yeah.
I love her. Made in Abyss is good.
Made in Abyss.
Made in Abyss, yeah, it's pretty good.
I like it a lot.
I like it. I don't really know what to say about it though. Its use of aperture is quite impressive.
For the non-camera people, please explain aperture.
It's depth of field, so its ability to sort of create
Create a verticality within it.
Verticality. It's the space and the setting a lot of the time is very dynamic because you can, and because the backgrounds are so dense, sometimes Made in Abyss has a very movie-esque production, which is why people tie it with Ghibli.
Yeah, well, there's also Ghibli background director.
Well, you know everything about Made in Abyss and Ghibli, so.
I mean, yeah. But, yeah, I feel like just the way that the camera follows the characters as well. Like, you never get a situation where a character looks up and then the camera doesn't follow it. Like, every point of discovery, even if it's rediscovery, even if it's seeing something through a new light, it's always through their eyes.
Oh, it's sort of like the Hitchcocky effect, where you don't see the monster, and because you don't see the monster, it's withheld from you. It's actually sometimes more unsettling.
Yes,
the directing is like much more infatuated with being effective than showy. Would be the way I'd put it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there's this episode in which they replay the events of a previous episode, but from a new perspective. It's only for a couple of minutes, but it's really effective, and that's the point that really highlighted to me. It's like, oh, they've been incredibly strict about only showing their perspective, so that we are only discovering things at the same rate as they are.
Yeah, it's like it's the sense of like shared discovery, the feeling that what is surprising in the viewing surprised the person directing as well, the director, the composer, the writer. It's all about the thrill of witnessing that with people, and you can actually really feel that in the overall directing style. I don't really. Who's the director? Was it ex Ghibli?
The director was ex Madhouse. He was Masayuki Kojima. He did Monster at Madhouse.
Oh, so a bad show.
People seem to really like Monster.
Yeah, that's because it's very Western.
I haven't seen Monster, so I can't speak for it.
It's okay.
He did, but he did Black Bullet as well, which is more familiar with.
Clap! That's I remember him now.
Monster to Black Bullet to Made in Abyss. This guy's gone places.
He also did I think Piano no Mori at
Really?
Madhouse as well.
Yeah, no, he did. That wasn't a very good movie, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not wholly impressed. There was some great scenes in it though.
Yeah, it had its moments. It had its moments for sure. He's definitely he's gotten around. He's utilized a lot of different styles. It's become very apparent. Oh my god, I forgot all about Black Bullet, dude. I remember I hadn't read the light novels coming up to that show. That was one of the few shows that I was like, I don't feel like reading the material to this. I'm just kind of like gonna free ball it, ad-lib it, and be like, oh, it's the director of Monster. It's probably more Western-like. And then, oh man, don't you love the massacring of little girls? Personally, I'm a big fan.
Okay,
It's hot.
Did you finish Love Live season 2, Sunshine?
Yeah, super. Yeah. Well, I did, but I don't want to think about me finishing it.
Well, I think it's actually really good. I
obviously didn't mean it like that.
No, I still can't get over how the entire show is just basically about trying to live in the shadow of Muse, but they can never live in the shadow of Muse. And because of Muse's legacy and their influence on them, sometimes they themselves feel a bit distorted from who they really are alone as themselves and who they want to stand as. Like, Chika herself always talks about their radiance. What is that distinctive radiance of herself and their group? And when their school is closing, when they find out about that in the first season, it's all about, like, Chika, like, again, uses that as an opportunity to try to follow the footsteps of Muse. And season 2 is all about them not being able to follow that footstep. And it's so good.
Because they're not Muse. They're Encores, and they're way better than Muse.
Yeah, and they have to do it in their own way. And yeah, they are better than Muse.
Who's your favorite girl? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but...
Yoshiko.
Yep, of course. Yohane. Callum, based off of, like... I know you didn't watch Love Live Sunshine. I know you didn't. You've definitely seen art of them. Who is your favorite girl based off of that?
I've actually thought about this a lot. In the time that I've thought about this, I could have actually watched at least a few episodes.
Give me the answer, dude.
I think her name is Yor.
Yor's pretty good.
Yo, yup.
Yeah.
Silver hair,
Despite the fact that she only has 3 lines in the entire show.
Does she?
in season 2, Yo, like...
Disappears.
Man. I didn't realize Hakora's was only an 8-member group. My favorite is Dia.
Dia's really good. Dia has the best episode.
Is she the...
Dia's she's the 3rd year, and she has a mole on her face.
She's the brunette, like the full-on.
Oh, yeah.
After that, Yoshiko, very close second. Love Live Sunshine is super good, and I know you're not going to watch it.
Nah.
I know you're not going
to. I was happy with just watching the original Love Live, and having completed that, I'm satisfied.
But Sunshine is so much better than the original Love Live.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm glad you're satisfied. I only just fucking hate you.
I mean, I never felt like I needed more Love Live after that. I didn't feel like I needed to know about the people who were inspired by them.
That's because you're classifying it as Love Live. Love Live, the first 2 seasons of Love Live, that's Muse. Muse is completely different from Encore's. It's not Love Live. It's Muse and Encore's.
It's honestly really different, especially in one of the episodes in season 2 where, like, Muse is a big group, 9 people as well, and not all of them necessarily jive together, or you never really see all of them interact with each other. Aquars is forced to face that responsibility of each of the characters facing each other, and when they find out that they don't really jive with each other, sometimes they have to sort of reach a compromise every now and then.
Sunshine in pretty much every capacity, as much as I love Muse, is a better show. Like, I'm glad you watched the original, but Sunshine is just such a better show in like every way. It's unbelievable, and it's even more effective when you've seen the original. But it's like, you're a busy guy, Callum. I get it. I just don't want to be friends with you anymore. You want to know why? Because you won't watch Sunshine.
Oh, I still end up watching shows that I'm hopelessly disappointed by. Like, I watched Sakura Quest this year.
Oh, Sakura Quest, the tourism show that made me not want to go.
That's
a good way of putting it.
It's perfect, actually. Fuck. I've only seen one episode, but like Matt messages me a lot about stuff, and like while Sakura Quest was airing, like every now and again we talk about it. And I don't think once I heard a positive thing.
I guess it's like PA Works' most politically ambitious slideshow.
Hey, Eccentric Family 2 looked good.
Eccentric Family 2 is beautiful, yeah.
At least they picked the right show.
I'm glad.
Because those were being produced at the same time. Which, Eccentric Family 2, another contender for best anime.
Eccentric Family 2 is great. It's not as dense as the first season, but it's
a lot more loose.
It's certainly more focused, at least, on character dynamics.
Okay, I get what you mean. Now.
Yeah.
It's like, I meant more like loose with like material.
Oh no, for sure.
Like it wasn't like just condensed super fucking hard, because it was like we only have 12 episodes to go through this entire novel. And even then, Eccentric Family Season 1 is
I would say Eccentric Family...
awesome show.
Yeah, I would say Season 2 moved quite comfortably and through the material. I felt like maybe... It's still good. It's still really good. But in comparison to the first season, I think the only thing it was really missing was that extra pizzazz that you sometimes got from the first season. Like those little moments that just stood in that one specific scene. You know what shot.
How much of that was just experiencing it for the first time, though?
I mean, there's a lot of, like, Eccentric Family is a very, again, I said, like, it's a very dense show, so there's a lot to break apart from it, and when you compare it to the second season, it's always going to be, I guess, a bit unfair, because you're already used to the dense world, so maybe that's why it doesn't feel as dense, consequentially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just disappointing that I can't call it the best like the best work from that author last year.
Of course, the Night is Short.
Yeah.
Which is, have you seen it, Callum?
Yeah, I have.
Wait, which thing?
The Night is Short, Walk on Girl.
Oh,
which is a perfect film. It's perfect.
It's really stunning.
I can't imagine there being another film that would feature a dancing Slav squad. It would feature a 5-minute long musical number. It would also feature a natural disaster sequence, and also feature a hot pot eating sequence. Also feature a drinking contest sequence, and like cowboys fighting a army of politicians. It's just, there's no other film that could possibly coherently fit all of that together besides a Yuasa film, I guess.
Yeah, I like when that entire time you're describing that, I'm thinking, who the fuck else? Who I can't even think of another anime director that I would pick immediately when thinking of all of the things you just said. Yuasa is perfect. I haven't seen the movie yet, but you know.
It's a perfect film. Yeah.
I trust you. Yuasa is one of the best anime directors.
Oh,
right
for
now.
Sure.
Like, without a doubt. Without a fucking doubt.
There's no competition, really.
Eccentric Family Season 2, like, it needed more Benton material.
Why do you pronounce her name like Button?
Benton?
Benton? Yeah, like Benton, like the TV show with the kid with the watch, the cartoon.
I'm not saying Benton.
Ben 10, yeah.
I'm saying Benton.
Benton. I thought it was just Ben 10.
Ben 10.
As in
the cartoon.
Yeah. Ben 10.
I don't want to. Because it reminds me of the cartoon. So I don't want to pronounce it like that.
You gotta be comfortable with it.
I can't. I was hoping you guys wouldn't say anything. I didn't want to be reminded of it, dude. That's definitely one of the best shows. And then, in terms of movies, Matt, you and I talked about it. There weren't that many anime movies this year besides the Yuasa films that stood out. There was the Fate Stay Night film, and there was the SAO film.
Oh, there's also Uchiyake Hanabi, which was very lukewarm. That's the nicest way I can put it.
Fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks.
Can you see the fireworks from the side? Is it better to see the fireworks
from the side,
or is it better to see
from
the
side or front or something?
I can't.
It's too long.
I still haven't watched it. Dude, the entire time leading up to it, because it's directed by Takeoki. This person at Shaft, okay? He's been there since the beginning. This guy at Shaft who has been there since Shaft transformed from this just small in-between studio. It did a couple productions. It did like Popotan before the Shinbo trio showed up. Team Shinbo is what most people tend to call it. Shinbo, Oishi, and Shinonuma took over and gave it this more defined style, which was brought on by the fact of a new producer coming on to the team, etc., etc., etc. And this guy was here before that, and he did the one of the best Penguin Drum episodes.
Episode 9.
Episode 9. And ever since then, I have wanted him to direct his own thing. But looking at the music video and the PVs and everyone's reflections on it, it seems like he was kind of forced into a rushed production. And I don't feel like the storyboards of that movie reflect his actual talents, even though I haven't seen it yet. But Matthew, I trust him more than anyone else when it comes to anime, so I'm looking forward to watching it. Disappointed with what everyone said so far.
When it comes to framing, a lot of it is rotoscoped from the TV film, the live-action film.
Yeah, I saw that like one cut in like the music video where she's running, and I've actually seen the original film, and I was like, holy shit.
Wait,
I thought that was cool, because I thought that was just a...
Huh? It's rotoscoped?
Oh, there are several scenes that are rotoscoped.
Rotoscope traced over, yeah.
Really? I never saw any of the scenes and thought, oh, that's probably rotoscopes, because usually it
stands out quite a bit. Some of the rotoscope scenes are done quite well, yeah. But maybe rotoscope isn't the method they went by, but they completely...
Nope. There was a cut that is guaranteed rotoscoped. I promise you.
No, the cut where she's running away from her mom, and then her mom appears from the corner. Yeah, I know what cut you're talking about.
That is the one that is definitely rotoscope.
Oh, that scene. Yeah,
that's one of like the key scenes from the live action film that I remember the most.
Who Shunji Iwai, the director of the live action film, he is a really good director. Though he did Hana to Alice, he moved, didn't he? Yeah, he's a very quirky director.
The rotoscoped anime one that I like.
Hana to Alice, that was the prequel to the live action film.
Yep, I liked that movie a lot.
Yeah, why don't you actually watch Hana to Alice as well?
Matt,
I don't want to hear it.
Matt, look me in the eyes.
I can't. I'm like a few states away from you.
Matt, pull up a picture of me on your phone and look me in the eyes, okay?
I don't have a picture of you on my phone. I'm sorry.
All right, just listen to my ears, okay? Use your ears, all right? I want you to listen really carefully. Really, really carefully. It's 3D. Fuck you. You know I don't watch 3D shit because I am an actual piece of garbage. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Dayoko song is pretty good, though.
Oh, no, Dayoko's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
This song specifically seems to like move away from like her original
No, for sure. It's very different.
In my opinion. But like I fucking love
That's
it.
Great.
It's an amazing song.
we were saying before, Glenn, because I know I mentioned that 2017 was a rather weak year for anime films. Yep. I honestly do think that's just because 2016 was just such a strong year. Yeah. Because you have the two Kizu films, unless you want to count the third Kizu film along with them.
Which I haven't gotten around to yet.
Yeah. You had Koei no Katachi, In This Corner of the World, which is like the masterpiece of last year. Even Your Name was enjoyable.
Say the name people will recognize, Matt.
Kimi no Nawa.
That's not the name people recognize.
No, Glenn, I was talking about the show with Your Name.
Yeah?
Mr. Radars.
Oh, yeah. So, spring 2017. Well, actually, winter 2016. May have been spring 2016. My memory's hazy. I go through a lot of garbage anime content. Apologies. There was an announcement of the anime adaptation of a light novel that goes by the name what was it?
Rokudai Akashi something.
Oh, Akashic Records.
Akashic Records,
Majutsu Koshi to...
Just say Akashic Records.
No! I want people to listen to my poor pronunciations. It's because my tongue is just awful, whether it be English, Japanese, any language, I'm just awful at speaking. And main character of that is named Glen. As soon as that was announced of an anime adaptation, I pre-ordered like the latest volume that was coming out in Japan and got like all the volumes were out at the time, and it was like 5 fucking volumes. And I read the first one in Japanese and I was like, are there translations for this? I'm fucking lazy. And I read like up to volume 3, and then the anime came out, and I still haven't watched it because I wanted to binge watch it and just have an entire day of Twitter of me screenshotting every single fucking frame of that show because it's my show. Because the main character's name is Glen. It has 2 N's though.
Yeah.
But Glen Radars. That is me. And Matt, you actually watched it, and you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it more than I should.
Did you watch the whole series?
I actually did.
You did?
What the fuck?
I binged it in one day. It's sort of, you know, like as Glenn would put it, it's fucking just like the fun trash, I guess.
It's so good, dude.
At least you get a show with a main character that has your name, because the only character that had my name was like this cat serial killer in Ancient Magus Bride.
Oh, that's another show that's pretty good. You know, it's okay.
It's all right.
I feel like it misses. Like,
I do want to watch the OVA because.
Yeah, same.
The OVA that came out the year before, which is like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I feel like that
prequel
seemed more, at least visually ambitious, but.
Yup. That's exactly it. It feels like it takes a lot from the manga, and to be fair, the manga is fucking beautiful. But like I feel like it loses a lot of magic, a lot of the magic the manga has in that sense, because not really straying too far from what the manga defines in its paneling and stuff. But overall, it's still a very, very good series.
Yeah, it's very British. That's what I like about it.
Are you watching it?
I've seen 3 episodes. So steadily.
Oh, so you didn't get to my character where I just fucking kill cats apparently.
No, I haven't met Matt the cat killer.
Yeah, he's just Matthew. When they said his name is Matthew, I'm like, of course. Of course that's what I get.
There's this conspiracy against you.
I'm like sitting here racking my brain. Neither of you continued Princess Principal, did you?
No. I mean, I watched the first. Actually, we did the exact same thing, didn't we, Matt? We were both in Japan.
We watched
Princess Principal episode 1 on TV, and then we were like, no, and then just never picked it up again.
Basically.
I'm glad your guys' very, very keen understanding of the Japanese language helped you understand that Princess Principal episode 1 was terrible.
Hey, Glenn, I just want to let you know, when Callum and I were in Singapore and we were at the KyoAni booth, a guy from a staff member at the KyoAni booth came up to Callum and spoke to him in Japanese, and I was the one who had to speak to him the entire time.
That's because I was in shock.
Hey, let's be fair. Callum's white.
So why did he go to Callum? He went to both Callum and Russ, and he asked them like a question in Japanese, and I had to go and respond for them.
Dude, Callum's an approachable guy, dude. It's funny. It's funny. Princess Principal's good. It really is. I promise you. And also, like, you guys, I think Matt, you, because I talked to you the night you watched it. Actually, you were like, "Oh, I watched Princess Principal episode 1 with Callum."
Well, we didn't actually watch it together. Like,
you both watched it like while it was airing during the night.
Yeah.
Because like most late night anime, it's late night. And
it was the one that was like, it was Knights of Magic, then it was Princess Principal, then later in the day it was Maiden Abyss. I didn't stay up long enough for Maiden Abyss, but Matt, did you?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, regardless, you guys watched anime actually airing, and that's fucking cool.
It was kind of cool to see the new season start in that
Pretty
way.
much,
realize why so many anime fans record and don't stay up late to watch their show.
I mean, like, that would be, to keep up with those shows, you would need to watch anime for a solid hour, and it would go into like 1 a.m. every single night.
It'll go further sometimes.
Yeah, like beyond the fact of staying up late, that's doing it with such frequency and having nothing else on. Never being able to go outside, like out for the night. Yeah, thank God they record. Well, actually, a lot of things are on streaming platforms as well now, but yeah.
Matt said that the first episode turned you guys off because it kind of seemed directionless in terms of like its narrative conceits, which makes complete fucking sense when you watch the show, but you know, that's okay. Not like it was trying to draw you in by kind of making things a bit more vague and letting you trying to figure things out, you know. Yeah, it's okay, guys. It's like I only just fucking want to like not talk to you ever again. You get it? Yeah? Alright.
I mean,
I know you're not going to watch it now, but it was a good show.
Part of what was going on in my head was I saw the open, because it starts with the opening, and I got my expectations so high from just the opening and like the stylish charm it had.
It was a good OP.
That the episode itself just felt like a bit of a letdown. It felt like it wasn't like as stylistically insane as the original, as the OP. I mean,
it still had style for days. Like, come on, please.
It's still what, on retrospect, I would totally watch it. I would definitely continue it. But no, yeah, it's all 2017. Nobody cares about 2017 anime anymore.
It's too late.
2018 now.
We've gone too far into the future.
It's all about penguin shows right now.
Which is, I want to watch that. I want to watch that so badly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's actually talk about Kemono Friends, because that is my favorite anime of the year. No doubt in my mind. Best anime of the year. You know, before I was like, you can't, picking number ones is so stupid. Kemono Friends! Boy!
Yeah, fuck Kadokawa.
You feel me? Woo! Yeah, fuck Kadokawa and fuck them what they did to Tatsuki. Probably one of the most revolutionary yet traditionalist director I've encountered in the past few years in anime. Kemono Friends is a masterpiece. That word is used a lot, but there is no other word that describes Kemono Friends so perfectly.
No, Kemono Friends is genuinely actually perfect.
Matt, you and I were before the craze started. Me and you
were
watching
watching
it, and I think that's my favorite part is that we looked at the show before it aired and we were like, let's watch this. And like it wasn't until about episode 3, maybe late into the week after episode 2, that it really started picking up with people. And the Japanese side of Twitter went fucking mad over it, went fucking nuts. And then that streamed over to the American English side, the Western side.
Not as much.
Kemono Friends became not nearly as much, obviously, but people actually started watching it. And I can have conversations with people that aren't Matt now, which is astounding. Because, obviously, like, people know what we're talking about. If you're listening to an anime podcast, especially with us, when we tend to go on, like, more technical, productional-esque stuff, you're probably into anime a decent amount. But I like to think I'm just a cool guy, and you're probably listening for me, not these two. I'm really looking forward to Callum September. Kemono Friends obviously is not the show you look at and you're like, this is the show I'm gonna watch for sure. But that was Matt and I's decision, and I don't think anything's had as big an emotional impact on me this I guess it's not this year anymore, for 2017.
I thought it was a joke when you first mentioned it, because you guys watched the first episode like after it aired, right?
Yeah, no.
Like, you guys weren't catch-up viewers.
Yeah,
like
I watched it the day after, pretty much.
Like, we talked about it and we joked about it. We didn't really describe it as, like, this is something you have to watch for sure, because it doesn't reveal its fangs early on. If you look back, there's a lot of, honestly, very obvious apparent things that can lead you to believe that there's more to it. Like, the first episode does have that ending thing where it's like, what the fuck?
No, yeah, like, I was about to say, the first episode is still seductive tonally,
but still, you
for
didn't
some
actually,
reason.
I personally was just like, it's not going to be really anything more than that. It's just going to be like a generic kind of kids show.
That is what we described. I think everyone at first described it as a kids show, when maybe fundamentally it can be seen as one, but as the popularity was rising, I looked up things about Kemono Friends, which I had to go to the Japanese side of the internet very hard, because Kemono Friends was not popular even on the Japanese side. It was a mobile game that was it looked nice, it looked cute, but it didn't have a lot of the more modern things that gacha mobile games have that make them more bearable. Like, I think you had to have the app open at all times for, like, your timer to reset so you could do more missions. Oh, you should also mention that the mobile game was canceled before the show actually even began airing.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. It was really weird, because we were looking at it and we was like, why is this getting an anime adaptation? I was like, Matt, this mobile game got canceled. I'm shocked there's even an anime. Like, this game doesn't exist anymore. They're not advertising anything. This is just a weird... Because the thing, I was like, this is a late night TV slot. This isn't like an early morning cartoon. This is airing late night anime times. It's a full length show. It was so odd and weird. So Matt and I talked about it a lot, and then it fucking picked up, and then it became the best show of the year.
The true sleeper hit.
The true sleeper hit. And even then, a lot of Western people still haven't picked it up, and a lot of people still think people like Matt and I are joking when we say this, but
the joke's on them.
Kidding. The joke's on them. I am not kidding.
I just feel like Kemono Friends is one of those shows. It's like, I guess you can say the same for like Houseki no Kuni, but it's one of those shows where it can only happen because of all of the factors that went into Kemono Friends. One of the things about Kemono Friends, I feel like obviously it's CGI, its production values with CGI are nowhere near as high as Houseki no Kuni's, but I feel like that works in Kemono Friends' advantage because it gives it such an awkward look sometimes that it adds to the not just the comedy, but it also adds to the show's darker moments. There's like it
contextualizes a lot of the downtrodden parts of the show that are understated.
Yeah, and I feel like there's some lingering sense of irony that underlines the entire show throughout, which I feel like is the real seductive factor of Kemono Friends.
Tatsuki is a sleeper hit.
Yeah, and as you can see from Tatsuki's independent short that he made on Twitter, that he released on Twitter and then later on YouTube, you can tell that it is him. Like, he knows how to create an atmosphere so oddly well. It's really not, it's not, nuance is not even the word. It's so quiet.
He's very considerate of everything in the frame.
So Kanekawa still owns the Kemono Friends property, like the license, the IP.
Yep.
Let's say they're like, fuck it, fuck the bad press. We're going to make a second season.
Did. Tatsuki's not coming back.
Yeah, Tatsuki's not coming back, but they're going to restaff this with a new studio. What do you think would happen?
They have to. The Tatsuki studio's out for good.
They've actually asked Sunrise to do it.
Like their 3D team, or
that is the rumor. A rumor that I'm not 100% on its sources, I will say.
I can see BN Pictures because Sunrise has like a kids anime division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a sub studio dedicated to it.
Yeah. BN Pictures, I think it's called.
And that makes me think that also, to your other question, I don't know how outraged everyone will be. It's very interesting to think about because I don't want to watch it if it's not Tatsuki, but I do love the thing he created.
Yeah.
Because they specifically stated that Kaban, the original character he made, they own. It is theirs, which means Kaban is probably going to still exist.
I mean, if you've seen Kemono Friends, it ends with a cliffhanger, actually.
Yep.
Is Kaban the main character?
Yeah, the human.
Yep.
Oh.
She's the human.
Oh, okay, so if Kanekawa wanted to do a new version, they wouldn't be able to use that main character.
No, they won't because they own her.
They literally said that in the first statement. We own everything that you made, including Kaban.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
And I'd be very conflicted about it because I do love Kemono Friends. I feel like I love Kemono Friends not just because it was only Tatsuki, very much because of him in most ways, but I like Kemono Friends a lot, and I've kind of regrettably now spent quite a lot of money trying to support the show, $300 worth on Blu-rays and assorted merch. I do that with things I like a lot, and I like Kemono Friends a lot. I don't know how Japanese fans will react because they were mad. Everybody was mad, but it's been a while. Anger does die out, and I don't know if it'll be less successful because of it. I'd like to hope so, because, like I said...
But then you also don't want to hope that, too, because, I mean, the cast is still returning.
Yeah, they had, a very manipulative video of the Seiyu.
Yeah.
Saying, please continue supporting Kemono Friends after the Tatsuki thing, which pissed me off even more, because I was like, fucking really? You're gonna guilt people because of the Seiyu, because Kemono Friends is an accumulation of all the things, like the Seiyu, a lot of younger Seiyu who
pretty much the entire cast is up and coming.
Kind of yeah, Kemono Friends is boosted their careers, and Kodakawa has utilized that in an attempt to keep people on board, which a lot of people still are on board. I'm still somewhat there, but it'd be interesting to see the reaction when the inevitable anime sequel does come out. It's maybe since they asked Sunrise, wouldn't it be so weird? Because Sunrise has sub-studios dedicated to CGI. What if they keep the CGI anyway, but just have an improved CGI version of Kemono Friends? That'd be fucking weird.
That would be. I feel like it wouldn't be Kemono Friends without the choppiness.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because it's Tatsuki's project.
There's so many questions because it's not like, Rie Matsumoto and Kekai Sensen, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of that was more voluntary. But this is just like this is just like Kadokawa like kicking Tatsuki.
Tatsuki will not help whoever the next director is. Like Rie Matsumoto was clearly like involved in this transition. Like she directed the
Matsumoto. Like I said, Matsumoto's still at Bones.
Yeah.
Like she said that she said she was done with Kekai Sensen, but she still cared about what she made. Like in interviews with her specifically about Kekai Sensen and about the things she makes in general, she cares so deeply about the characters she makes, she creates, that she gives a world. They mean so much to her, so it's without a doubt true that she has had an effect on Kekai Sensen and beyond. But in this sense,
this is more. I'm just concerned whether if the breakup was either creative differences or if it was Kadokawa being threatened, like feeling threatened by Tatsuki's popularity and influence over the show and the fan base.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, because it was so sudden and no explanation. Like Tatsuki specifically sent the tweet like, okay, like what the fuck? Like they didn't explain any reason for this happening. Like and the thing is, it's not because he like, how he did like those bonus OVA-esque episodes? He got explicit permission for those and stuff. Like he never went beyond what Kadokawa approved, but Kadokawa has cited him not being creatively
obedient.
Yes, obedient, but probably a lesser of that word.
It's like what you said once before. You assumed that Tatsuki was going to make the Kemono Friends universe a bit darker, as there are underlying tones of it, and I'm sure Kadokawa just wants to keep it at its current tone.
Yeah. If it goes any further, if characters actually die,
I don't think characters would die, but I feel like
I don't think characters would die either.
Like in
but
Tatsuki's
I think
mind,
it's the fear of that they have, the fear of losing a property to somebody's creative vision that they don't like. There's so much to talk about with Kemono Friends, but Kemono Friends is the best show of the year.
Without a doubt.
That's 2 out of 3. Go fuck yourself, Callum. AniPod choice of the year.
Yay.
It's a democracy after all.
Fuck democracy.
What was your favorite show?
I'll see you in North Korea.
You said at the beginning. Actually.
Yeah, I said Little Witch Academia.
Little Witch Academia.
I mean, this show, like, I feel like I was more connected to Made in Abyss, but I also feel like Little Witch Academia is more my brand.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning.
Yeah, it's more my sort of show. It's the sort of show that when I tell people I love, they go, "Of course you do."
Yeah.
Is that what you just love, meeting low expectations?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. As we do every single fucking time we do this, like, stupid stuff, this stupid recording, which maybe we'll record again, we're gonna quickly just yell a bunch of show names, because that's what we do.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
I can't even think of it.
We didn't even talk about Konosuba 2.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck!
I'm sorry, Matt. I'm so sorry. We sort of like talked.
We
about
didn't
it,
talk
but
about
we didn't
Konosuba.
really mention.
No, fuck off. We didn't talk about Konosuba.
Okay, my.
Could have talked about World End as well.
Oh my fuck! Oh fuck!
Yeah, that's the rules. We just gotta shout out random show names.
Okay.
Cardinal the right answer was great.
We talked about Majoring at the beginning, but I kind of dismissed it because I didn't think there was that much to say about it. But I liked it a lot. Demi Chan.
Interview with Monster Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gabriel
Dropout was. Yeah. Fuka.
Fuck off. We didn't really say anything about Rakugo 2. We just said the name of it.
Oh my fucking god. Dude, we've been talking for so like there's too much good shit.
Rakugo 2 is fucking
Stop
amazing.
Here's to another year of good shit.
Catch up,
there's
America.
Also wait Owari?
Owari season 2. I'm not done, dude. Owari season 2. Oh my god, dude. No.
Yeah.
Aka 13.
Hiruna Hime. just like solely for what's the animator's name? Toshiyuki
Oh,
Inoue?
yeah,
Inoue?
yeah.
Oh, Napping Princess.
Callum, have
yeah,
you
yeah.
seen?
I have seen Hime. Yeah.
Okay, the cut when she's running through the ruins. Did you notice it?
Is that the end?
Running through
the
like
climax?
the broken bridge. Yeah, near the end. And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
the cut that like spins, where the camera spins around her.
Yeah. I
was
remember what you're
fucking
talking about. That was
fantastic.
fantastic.
Zuri Children was very
It's
cute.
cute.
Attack on Titan season 2. Lol. XD.
Did anyone watch that actually?
Yeah, I mean,
For
it's
Attack on
so
Titan.
yeah. But I don't care. Maybe I'll like season 3 more.
Some people like recreators.
I liked Recreators. Matt
you?
hated it by like episode 7.
I just hated it because it's one of those things where like when you can tell where it's going from like the second episode and it actually goes there. And like normally predictability doesn't bother me, but when it's stuff about, I don't know, something
Recreators
about
had a lot of low
Recreators
points that
annoys
should have
me.
been high points. I can say that. I still liked it overall. Skiga Kire,
Oh,
the Seiji Kishi original show, was very, very cute.
that was the Fate movie this year.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, Heaven's Feel.
Heaven's Feel.
I like
was
Heaven's
great.
Feel. The spin-off to Danmachi, which I actually liked a lot.
That was the anime strike one, wasn't it?
Yep.
That's all I remember about it. The fact that they put it on
Yeah.
fucking anime strike.
I liked it a lot, and I really can't describe why. Zero Kara Hajimaru.
Oh,
Mahoney
that
show.
White Fox show.
Yeah, I liked that one quite a bit as well. Not many people watched it.
Once again,
The new Shingeki no
anime
Bahamut
strike.
kind of fell off, but it had a very strong opening.
Oh, Girls Last Tour.
Fuck, dude. The second season to Saikano, go fuck yourself, Matt.
Why just me?
Because I know you're gonna say something.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, sure, dude. All right. Alice to Zurica.
Really?
Did either of you watch that?
I saw the first episode.
No, but I remember people being very like mild about it most of the time. I've heard it on a
like
couple
First
of
episode
people's
was
top
alright.
lists, but yeah.
I would say actually the first episode was a bit Hollywood-esque almost.
Yeah, it moves a bit away from that. Like the first episode
I
was
assume.
double length. Fucking, man, one of my favorite manga got an anime adaptation this year. Sugumomo.
Did you even watch the show?
No,
Sugo-
I was
is-
waiting for Blu-rays.
Is that the one about the Shrine Maiden?
No. That's a fuck. Which one is that? I can't remember. I'm looking through the list now. We'll find it eventually, dude. I actually love this segment. Oh, Starmuse season 2, dude.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Dude, Starmuse wonderful. Go fuck yourself. Oh yeah. There was this one, like, I build up this to this entire point where I was like telling you to go fuck yourself when we were talking about Sunshine, because Idolmaster Side M existed, and I wanted to tell both of you to go fuck yourself because Idolmaster Side M was one of the best shows this year.
Oh.
And also,
But
and
you
not enough
forgot
people
about
watched it because it's male idols, which I don't see why that matters. You pieces of fucking garbage. I hate you. It's a great show.
Yo, I'm sexist against men.
Yeah, same, to be honest. What else was there? Dude, this is how this segment always goes. Fucking fastball, dude. Ballroom E Yokoso. It was super No, I'm not gonna. It wasn't great. Fucking Fate Apocrypha had some of the best Sakuga of the year.
Pokemon I Choose
Did
You
it?
was a
Did it?
Yes, it fucking did.
Did it?
It did.
It did.
Give me one fucking show, dude, that was more Sakuga filled than Fate Apocrypha.
You have to ask Callum that.
Go fuck yourself. Hajimete no Gal, Matt's favorite show.
Fuck off.
What do you mean, dude?
It's so stupid.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I think it's so fucking terrible.
Callum loved 18F.
I did.
Idol Jihen was very, very weird to watch.
Tenshi no 3P, writer of Rokyobu. There was that like the Reflection, which nobody watched. Even
Are we now just mentioning the
Dude,
names of shows?
we're
that
already
happened
like
to
way
end?
overboard, dude. Let's go for it. All right.
Renai
Oh,
Boken.
Emotose. I loved Emotose.
Did you? Did anyone?
Yes, tons of people. There's dozens of us. Children of the Whales, disappointing. Not as like the manga's better, but the manga also has its issues. A bit disappointed in Ishimuro. Ishimuro. What the fuck
Ishiguro.
Yeah, Ishiguro. I knew I messed up. Kyohei Ishiguro, who directed Your Lie in April and Occultic 9. And coming off of Occultic 9, this was very disappointing.
But he also directed, what was that? Mask something?
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Masked Lance or something.
Yeah, like Lance.
The OP was good. I don't know how much work he did after that. Thrigatsu no Lie in second season, phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Urahara, Luna Haruna's debut VA role.
Konohana Kitan was super good. Nobody watched it. Anime Gatteries was actually shockingly really good. Nobody watched it.
Was it?
Yeah, actually, I recommend it. Super, like it was. I found it very funny, and it just got better and better.
Oh, Glenn, don't forget about your favorite show, Dive.
I don't know any other person on this planet who's watched Dive, and I don't want to know it. I
was excited for it, but then I never ended up watching it because it was on.
It was unbelievable. It was probably the worst show I watched this year, if I had to be honest. I watched all of it, and I don't even want to talk about it. It was an awful experience. It was an awful show. Garo Vanishing Line, directed by that Korean dude, right? Right?
I don't know.
Forgot his name too, but he's a talented fella. His name's like Park. It's like Park. Yeah.
Sung-Young Park.
The second season of Yuki Yuna, I loved it. Anyone else? Hello? Okay. Fucking, I can't remember. I think that's all.
Are you just gonna name everything now,
dude? What
I'm genuinely so hungry now that I'm ordering food as we podcast.
Dude, Glenn, it's almost 4 a.m.
Oh my god, Matt, you could have stopped me so much earlier. It's fine. You'll live. All right, that's it. We're done. AniPod is back, fellas. Probably.
We'll see.
It's up to me to reschedule the episodes, so yell at me if we don't. Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.